Okay, cool. Let's get started. Thanks everyone for joining. Happy Wednesday. My name's Adam. I'm the CEO of Blaze. I live in San Francisco. That's where I am right now, but I'm originally from New York City. And I come from a family of entrepreneurs. My grandfather started an insurance agency. My parents run a small business together. My brother's also a startup founder. And so starting things, building things is kind of in my blood. I was a big comic book fan growing up, um, along with lots of types of pop culture, movies, music, TV, and that's inspired a lot of our brand that you see on our website and in our product. And before working at Blaze, I was a product manager for a long time working in tech. Um, I worked at Apple at the beginning of my career, then at Lyft, where I ran pricing, and then in the fintech. But always knew I wanted to start something, and that led me to Blaze. So, what is Blaze? Just in a kind of simple one sentence answer, Blaze is a marketing AI tool for small businesses, creators, freelancers, agencies, what we call teams of one, to help you grow your business on the internet faster. Our main goal, what we hear a lot from people, our customers, is that they know that to grow fast, they have to do marketing, but they may not have the time or the experience to do marketing well. And so we think about our product as a tool for people who need to do marketing, but who are not marketers. And the reason that we created Blaze in the first place about a year ago is that uh, it's never been easier to start a business on the internet. There's tons of great tools like Square and Squarespace and Facebook and Instagram, kind of all these platforms that you can use to start a business and set up a store and get on social media. But actually filling those platforms with content is really hard. And so while it's easy to start a business, it's never been harder to grow one. Um, and that's because it takes a lot of time, number one. In order to grow on the internet, you have to constantly be creating content and distributing it across lots of different channels. And that requires a lot more time than most people have. Even if it was your dedicated job, it would take all of your time. But often our customers are people who are also wearing multiple hats and doing lots of things at once. And so they just don't have the time or necessarily the skills to be creating lots of really great content day after day after day. And the consequences of that is that content either gets out the door late or maybe not at all. Content isn't as high quality as you want it to be. So you don't hit your goals around impressions or visits or conversions to your website. You don't feel great about it. Your team may not feel great about it. You're not taking advantage of the opportunities you have to grow. And the words we hear a lot when we talk to customers who are just coming into the product for the first time are that they feel overwhelmed by the amount of work they have to do. They feel really stressed. They feel overlooked, like no one's appreciating all the work they're doing because the results aren't kind of commensurate with the time they're putting in. And Blaze is here to fix all of that. And so the idea of Blaze is to give you superpowers around marketing so that now, even as a small team, you can produce all the content you need in a really high quality way that sounds like your brand voice and in your brand style, and that it can automatically be posted to social media or to your blog or to your email service directly from Blaze without you having to even think about it. And so our goal is to enable you to grow faster on the internet by producing really high quality marketing in half the time. And I'm going to show you how we can do that today with Blaze. One thing before I get into the demo is that there is, I think, a chat feature in Zoom I believe it's a chat feature. Maybe it's Q&A, whatever is available on your screen. As I go through the demo, I'd love for you to ask questions about things that you may want me to follow up on at the end. The demo itself will take about 30 minutes. And then after that, I can go through your specific questions and show you features that I may not have gotten to or go through specific instances that are in your mind. So please be blowing up the Q&A as I go through, and I'll get to it at the end. Thanks so much for being here again, and let's get into it. So if you can see my screen, this is the home screen of Blaze. And one of the cool things we have in Blaze is as you start to use the product more and more, we'll show you how many hours and days you've saved using Blaze by creating marketing with our tool, how many pieces of content you've created. And so this is what your home screen would look like if you were to come into Blaze. And the first, several activities we think people should do when they come into Blaze is to help customize it to your brand voice and style. And the first way to do that is by creating a brand voice. So the idea of brand voice is that if you've been using ChatGPT or another tool, often AI marketing products or AI writers can sound a lot like internet voice, where the syntax is bad. It doesn't sound like your brand or your style. And so sometimes it's not super useful to just use a tool. You might as well just be faster to write it on your own. So we built a pretty cutting edge product that analyzes your brand voice and style so that everything you create in Blaze sounds like you. So to show you how to do this, I'm going to use this company called Akoakoa, which is a retreat company for remote teams. And I'm just going to take this homepage here and insert the URL. But you can also, if you don't even have a homepage yet, just paste text, like if you have a blurb about your business. If you have documents in Blaze, you can select one here, or you can upload a file like a brand kit. But websites are kind of the easiest in my opinion. So I'm just going to insert our website there. And what you'll see Blaze doing is just analyzing this website for various different aspects of brand voice. And what Blaze does, as you'll see in a second, is break down brand voice into 7 different components, things like purpose, audience, tone, emotion, character, syntax, and language. And the cool thing about this is you can edit all of these. So, it named this voice the facilitator's voice, but I'll call this retreats. And I'll pick like a travel emoji. And I can edit all of this. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit, but it looks like it got the audience right. It got a lot of these are pretty good. And so I will create a voice with that. The cool thing about brand voices, which are over here on the left side, is that you can create multiple brand voices. So if you're an agency with many clients, if you are a company with different products that you speak about differently, if you have operations in multiple geographies that have different tones, you can use you can create multiple brand voices and use them on different pieces of content. So that's brand voice, which basically helps Blaze talk like you. But another aspect of getting Blaze to know you is to help Blaze understand the products and services you create, what your business is about, your history. And for that, we have a feature called source materials, which is here under the knowledge tab. And the idea of source materials is, again, to give Blaze more information about who you are, what your company does, what products you sell, so that when it writes materials for you, you can be pulling on those specific details. So for Akoakoa, I think they have an About Us page here and an approach. And so let's say I wanted to teach Blaze about Akoakoa's approach. And I'm, again, just going to put that website here, and I'll name this approach. And when I create that source material, see it's here now. I can do this for multiple things. Like let's say I wanted to create, they have a destination page for Hawaii. So Hawaii properties, I will add that there, add the link, create the source material. And boom, I can go through and add a bunch of source materials so that Blaze knows how my business works. So now that we've set up a bit of knowledge and a couple of brand voices in Blaze, let's get to creating some content. So this is the home screen of Blaze, and you can see all the different things Blaze can do either here on the homepage by clicking on these tabs. Blaze has over 70 different types of wizards for you, or here at the top with the Create New button. It's always there, really easy to find. And this is another spot that will allow you to see all the things you can do. One of the things we see a lot of customers doing first is just trying to figure out what to write. And so we have a feature called Brainstorm Ideas. And let's say here we want Blaze to brainstorm ideas on Hawaii content for the summer. We have a feature now where Blaze can actually fill in the rest of our wizards for you. And so Blaze will name the document. It will select a brand voice correctly. As you can see, it selected the source material properly, added in some keywords. And so literally in one click, or I guess that's 2 clicks because I had to press the fill in for me button, but Blaze will start drafting content, and you can see how fast it drafts. And The cool thing about Blaze is that when it produces content, it does it in a document editor. So this is a real-time collaborative document editor similar to Google Docs. You can actually share this with any people that you might work with or clients you have or stakeholders by inviting them to the doc. We have different levels of access. You can give them edit, comment, or read access. You can change the fonts and the sizes of all this. So it's not just a place where to generate content, but also to edit it and refine it on your own. So as you can see, Blaze created a bunch of ideas here um, for us in terms of content. This looks like an interesting one. So let's say I wanted to take this and turn it into like a blog post. So we have a feature over here called Turn Into, which is really useful because often what we hear from customers is that they spend a lot of time on one piece of content, like a long blog post or a white paper or a podcast or a video, and then they have to spend a lot more time repurposing that content into different forms. So with Turn Into, you can turn any piece of content in Blaze into a different piece of content. So in this case, let's say we wanted to take that idea and turn it into a blog post. And so I will just select blog post there. And this takes us to our blog post wizard. So you can see that it inserted directly the selection I made into this field. And let's just say we want it to why remote teams should choose a Hawaii retreat. Should choose Hawaii for their company retreat. So I'll just rephrase this a little bit to make it make sense for a blog post. And then I'll have Blaze fill in the rest of this information for me. And one of the things about our blog post wizard and mini wizards is that for long content in Blaze, for long form content, what we try and do is not just give you like a final document that you have to read through, but take you through a wizard that gives you more and more control at deeper and deeper levels, so that by the time you get to the final document generation, it's exactly what you wanted. So this first step here is about purpose and goals. So you can see I'm going to create a new project for our Hawaii stuff that we're doing. You can set the goal of the post. You can have target audience. You can set the length of the post. As you can see here, it again picked keywords, brand voice, source materials. You can include images. And from this context, Blaze will then generate some titles for your posts. And so it gives you up to 5 titles here. Let me just take a minute to read through them. This one sounds nice. But again, all these are editable fields. So if I wasn't super happy with the copy, I can delete it, I can change it, I can also write my own. But this is also often pretty good. I can also regenerate all of these if I'd like, if I don't like any of them. But in my experience, one of the 5 is often pretty good from the start. And so once I picked a title, what you'll see Blaze do is take that title, write an introduction paragraph, and then write and the outline with H2s and H3s. If you do any kind of SEO, you'll know that this kind of outline with the H2s and H3s and H1s is directly maps to how CMSs work, like WordPress or Drupal. And so Blaze starts to take your topic and your title and turn it into a structured blog post. Again, all these are editable fields, so I can ask Blaze to, for example, regenerate the introduction if I don't like it. Let me take a minute to read through it. But looks pretty good. And so once I'm happy with this outline and intro, I'm going to generate the post. And you'll see Blaze stream this post into the document here as we go. And I think we asked it to generate images as well. So it's going to put a placeholder, as you can see, for images and start to populate those. I'll just let Blaze finish generating this content. But you'll see Blaze writing lots and lots of words for me. And again, with kind of the same H2s and H3s that we already approved in the wizard. And you can see this is actually talks about some of the properties here that directly relate to if I go to this Hawaii page, I think there's some information about Hilo Town and Kona Plantation, Haleakala Ridge, and those are all mentioned in here. So it's pulling directly from that source material that we created just a couple minutes ago. Great, and it looks like it's done. So let's look at the top of the post. Um, so that is some beautiful photos of Hawaii, which is cool. Along with even kind of a caption at the bottom of them so that these images can rank on SEO. So looks like a pretty good blog post to me. But one of the things I want to show you is what is possible once you, let's say Blaze generate a document, you're 90% happy with it, but we built a lot of features that help you take a document from good or great to really outstanding. So for any piece of content, you can improve it either by selecting a piece of the content or using this right rail over here to improve the entire document. So let's say, this introduction, I want it to be shorter. Just from that inline toolbar, I can ask Blaze to, for example, make this introductory paragraph shorter. Blaze wrote a caption for me here, which I can compare to the original. Let's say I want it to try again. I can ask Blaze to try again, or I can also re-prompt it with something else in this box at the bottom. For example, it can go back and forth with Blaze until I'm really happy with the output. And then I can either add it below the original or use it to replace the selection. I can also replace images just by clicking on the upper right-hand corner of the image. I can also this might take a little bit a while, but if I want the entire doc to be changed, I can ask Blaze to improve the quality of the document. I can ask it to edit the tone, for example, in a different brand voice. I can ask it to change the length of the document. But I can basically go through paragraph by paragraph or through the whole thing and use Blaze to improve the content again in just a couple of seconds. And I think we've been doing this demo for about 10 minutes now. In the 10 minutes, we've not just created a brand voice and added source materials, but I think written this blog post in just a couple of minutes. So now that we have a pretty good blog post, we can analyze it for SEO as we get ready to post it. So you can see, I'm going to have Blaze analyze it again. We get points for having pretty good text length, but there's also no outbound links. So that's something we can go, let's say we want to go here to Hawaii and add a link. I can say hawaii.com. I can add in some links. So you can see now we went from red to yellow because that link is not a good one because I just made it up. So we can go through and fix things until everything is green. You can see on readability, it says it's difficult to read. So I can go through and ask Blaze, for example, to simplify this. But it likes the paragraph length and the subheaders. Some of the sentences, again, seem like too long, too complicated. So we can go back and fix that. But this is an easy way to go and kind of check the document to make sure it's going to index well on Google. I can also check for plagiarism to see if Blaze pulled anything from the internet that's another article or if it sounds like AI. And in this case, no plagiarism was detected, which is great. So we're getting ready to post. And so we have right at the top of this document, you'll see this bar, and this bar allows us to, it gives us pretty easily accessible options to post. And so the first thing I can do is integrate an account with Blaze. And so we have a direct integration with WordPress, but if you use a different CMS, we use Zapier to integrate with hundreds and hundreds of marketing tools, including CMSs. And so what I can do here is actually connect my WordPress account. I don't think I have a WordPress account. So if you do, you can go through this process on your own. It's pretty easy. And once I have, you can actually have Blaze schedule that post automatically from Blaze. You don't have to go into WordPress at all. In this case, I'm going to set a reminder to post it. So let's say I wanted to post on Friday. I'm going to set this reminder. And then I will get an email on Friday reminding me to post this document. I can also export it. And so beyond the tools I mentioned, you can see here easy instructions to export with Zapier. There's more options up here at the top. I can print this out and turn it into a PDF. But what we see a lot of customers doing is really just integrating with their CMS and then using Blaze to directly post it to the CMS without having to leave the screen at all. And so really in a couple of minutes, you went from an idea to a blog post with images that's going to rank well on SEO to something that's scheduled in a different tool. So that is how you create, for example, a blog post in Blaze, but Blaze can do way more than just creating a blog post. So let's say you love this blog post about team building retreat. Now you want to do a bunch of stuff in different channels talking about Hawaii. So you want to turn this blog post into a multi-channel campaign. What we have in Blaze is this a feature called multi-channel campaign that can generate multiple types of content for you from an original piece of anchor content that is bespoke to different channels and saving you a ton of time where you don't have to go and rewrite the same piece over and over for Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and a newsletter and a website. So let me just let's say we're going to call this campaign Hawaii campaign. Your team retreat in Hawaii. I'll pick our brand voice. I'll pick our source material. And then I can go and select different content types. So let's say I wanted to create a Twitter post, an Instagram post. I want a YouTube script. I want a newsletter. I want, I don't know, Facebook ads. That looks like a pretty good set of things, but I also could just check all these if I wanted to. And from there, Blaze will go and start to generate all these documents for me. And so I think we picked, I don't know, 5 or 6 documents it'll tell me down here. And so in just a matter of seconds, Blaze will go and generate these documents. And so I'll just click in so you can see what they look like. And so this is the Instagram post where you have Blaze gives you a whole bunch of captions and a whole bunch of hashtags. One of the cool things about our social post is that I can go and actually get a preview at the top. So let's say I like this caption. I can move this up to the top. I can search for an image. And because I've actually integrated my Instagram account in this case, I can save this content and I can schedule it to post on a different date. And just like that, now what started as a blog post turned into a bunch of Instagram content and is going to post for me on Thursday. I can also, I think, add multiple images here. So let's say I wanted another Hawaii image. I can have multiple images in a carousel for Instagram. I'll save this and that'll also now post again on Thursday. I can change this post date, but this is just, again, one of the this is how we've integrated post previews into the tool. Let me go to show you some of the other output types. So we just looked at Instagram posts. I'll show you newsletter. So this is a newsletter for you where Blaze wrote all the content. And at the bottom, it'll give you different headlines and hooks in case you don't like what was written at the top. And again, you can just go and replace this with one of these if you'd like. Like, this is a pretty good one. So I can go and make this a title. And now we have a pretty good newsletter. I'll show you tweet ideas. And again, for social media content, you can see I've integrated my Twitter account here. And so here's a bunch of tweet ideas. And I can go and see what it looks like in Twitter and schedule this post. Let's say I want to schedule it on Tuesday or Monday. Now this is scheduled. And then I'll show you what a YouTube script looks like. You can see in all these cases, it's not just bespoke to your brand and your content, but it's also specific to the content type. So for this YouTube script, it'll give me kind of headers at the bottom. It will give me ideas for visuals. and descriptions I can include in YouTube. Blaze doesn't currently support videos. It supports images and copy. But even for things like video, we'll give you everything you need to go and create that video on your own for things like TikTok and YouTube, to make it really easy for you to produce content that's really great. Cool. So now we've generated a whole campaign, but let me just show you a little bit more about projects. And so here's a project, which is like a folder in Blaze, and I can actually see this project as a calendar. So you saw me before, scheduling some content, our Instagram content and our tweet ideas. This was the original blog post, which was scheduled on Friday. And what I can do with this calendar is actually drag this content. So I can use this as an organizational tool, to, for example, pull content that's unplanned and put it on a date. So this newsletter, Places ask me if I want to set a reminder to post on this date. And I'll say, yes, I always want you to remind me. Facebook ads, let's say we do them on Wednesday. So now you can see here, we're going to start with kind of the blog post on Thursday. Blaze will auto post the Instagram thing. On Friday, there'll be a newsletter. On Monday, we'll auto post the tweets we created. Tuesday, I can make that YouTube video, and then Wednesday, kind of follow up with ads on Facebook. And so now I can use this calendar as a way to see everything that I've planned for my Hawaii campaign, from the original blog post you wrote all the way through content across different channels. All that in Blaze, all that auto-generated with AI, all in your brand voice and style. So that's how you can go from just a single idea, as we did with that brainstorm, all the way through to a multi-channel campaign in a matter of minutes. But we asked ourselves at Blaze, is there a way to make this even easier for people, where you can generate lots and lots of different type of content, maybe a whole month's worth of content, in just a couple clicks? And so I want to show you some new features we just launched yesterday, which are around generating a whole month's worth of blog posts or Instagram content from Blaze. And so you can see it here in social media. We have this feature called multiple Instagram posts. And then in blogs, you'll see multiple blog posts. And so let me go and click on that. And so let's say I wanted to generate a lot of content about Hawaii. So I want to write about remote retreats in Hawaii. And I want the captions to be short. And let's say I want 15 posts. And I want this to be in my brand tone. I want it to include images, of course. And I want it to directly post to that Instagram account I configured. And just from that topic, Blaze will go and generate a whole bunch of captions for me. You can see here's 15 captions. I can select all of them if I want. I can generate more at the bottom, or it just can keep going. I can edit any of these. I can delete them. And I can, let's say I want to select the first 15 of them. I like this one instead. I like this one instead. Once I've selected and edited my captions, I can go to my calendar, and you'll see here Blaze has kind of automatically suggested a date for each of these posts. And let's say I want to post them twice per week. So you can see Blaze's kind of post has arranged 2 a week at ideal times to post. And let's call this Hawaii follow-on campaign. And then we're going to do it in that same folder. And from there, I'm going to have Blaze generate these draft posts. And what you'll see is Blaze will go and start generating those 15 different Instagram posts that we created. And so I think you can see this Hawaii follow-on number 2 is maybe this is the first one we did. And so let me go to the next month over, because I think a lot of these will happen in July. But you'll see Blaze start to generate these posts on the dates that we've scheduled them. And what's cool about this feature is just how fast it is, because it often can take, I don't know if anyone has experience with Instagram or with creating social media content, that can take hours just to create one post. And in a matter of minutes, Blaze has created 15 posts for you. So let me just go ahead and think into the first one we just created. You'll see Blaze took that caption that we wrote at the bottom, added an image for it on my account. And this is, again, scheduled to go for Tuesday, June 25th. So I'll just go back to the calendar so you can see Blaze creating content as we go. But you can do this for Instagram, and we will soon have wizards that do the same thing for Facebook, for Twitter, and for LinkedIn. And so you'll be able to create months and months worth of content in just a couple clicks. That includes images in your brand style and copy in your brand voice for a certain topic. I'll just show you quickly what this looks like for blogs. We created one blog, but let's say we wanted to create lots and lots of blogs about Hawaii retreats. So I want to write about Hawaii retreats with the Koakoa. I want to rank for the term remote team retreats. I want these posts to be short. Let's pick our brand voice again. And again, this is where you can integrate with WordPress or a CMS of your choice here so that Blaze can directly sync with them. And after that, one of the cool things about our blog planning wizard is that because I gave a keyword there for ranking for, I think, remote retreats, you can, Blaze will now go and analyze in true SEO fashion some keyword analysis. So you can see the way that this works is that I said I wanted remote team retreats to be the thing I want to rank for. Blaze looked at websites that currently exist that rank highly for that, and then looks at the other keywords that they rank for. So you'll see here's a whole bunch of keywords that those 3 websites I picked ranked for, and you can see the volume of searches and the difficulty level. So it looks like this company retreat topics or manager retreat, company retreat looks pretty good where it's still a fairly high number of searches, but an easier level of difficulty. Some of these, let's say ideas for staff retreats, looks like it has a lot of volume, but difficulty levels is moderate. So I'm going to pick that. I can also pick some secondary keywords here that I want to rank for as well. And then Blaze will go and generate blog titles for me. And this is very similar now to the blog wizard you saw, where Blaze will then select the blog titles, and I can take these, plot them on a calendar. I can change any of these dates if I wanted to. And I will then do this in the same exact calendar and start to generate these posts. So Blaze will now go and start to generate those different blog posts for me on the same calendar. And so you can see that what started with just an idea turned into one blog post, turned into a campaign, and now is months and months of Instagram content and blog posts. And if I didn't like these dates, I can always pull them around to different dates. And this might take a little bit of time because those blog posts, as you saw, were long, but you get the general idea. And that gives you, I hope, a pretty good summary of Blaze. I want to make sure we have time